Hi, and welcome to Cover Brand, where we cover all things branding, marketing, and advertising to help you understand what the hell branding is and how it works to grow your business. Welcome back to Cover Brand. I'm Ethan Decker. Today I have my friend Lindsay Sutula on the show. Lindsay, how are you?
I'm great, Ethan. How are you?
I'm good. Lindsay is a fellow fan of Orange.
It's
And a
true.
fellow, and a fellow Boulderite.
Yes, also true.
Yes, and a fellow music person.
Yes, even more
So
true.
many fellowships. It's
Yes,
fellowship of the dorks is what we've got here, which is
that's
great.
right. So true.
Lindsay, first, right off the bat, let's talk cover songs, and then we'll get into business.
Absolutely.
You've got a cover song in mind we want to talk about.
I do. It's Disturbs the Sound of Silence, the old Simon and Garfunkel song.
Oh, yeah. Okay. How did you discover that song?
Honestly, so I am sort of a fan of loud, angry music from the 1990s and 2000s. And I think I was on the Spotify like radio area and it came on and I was like, what is this? And so then it was on repeat for like
Yeah.
a weekend.
Yeah. And did you know you knew the original, of course?
Yes, I knew the original, but that was kind of predates my musical, interest era. So knew the original and I was like, this is great.
I grew up on my dad's Simon and Garfunkel
You
records.
did. I was
Yeah.
more of a John Denver girl growing up, to be honest.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So,
Cool. Yeah.
adjacent, I think.
It is totally adjacent, that old folk music era. And apparently, Simon and Garfunkel recorded a completely acoustic version and it bombed. It was like
Oh,
1963, I don't know. And then in 64, they re recorded it with a band behind it. And that song took off and was one of their biggest hits ever. 64. When did Disturbed come out with theirs?
I think like mid 90s
Oh,
or
man.
even later. Well, they were
And
a 90s, 2000s band, but I only discovered this version of it like within the past couple of years. So
let's
was
see.
it even later than that?
It says, let's see, 2015? Could it be that?
What? Yeah,
Wow.
maybe. I think they're
Okay.
actually still touring and stuff.
So that's 50 years after The Sound of Silence
Yeah.
originally was launched. Wow. That's a
Yeah.
great version for those of you who don't
So
know
good.
angry, angry versions of mellow
It's
folk
not
songs.
yeah, and it's not an angry version. It's a really, like, beautiful his voice is just so round and,
Yeah.
the orchestra behind it is really it builds super nice, and then he gets angry at the end, which is fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Now
Yeah,
he has a dark voice,
he
like a
does.
baritone or a bass.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
it's
Highly
gorgeous.
recommended. 5 stars.
5
Must
stars.
listen. Sound
Absolutely.
of Silence. And
Yeah.
it's a great balance to Art Garfunkel's like falsetto alto
Right.
that he has. It's
Yeah,
like,
I don't know what caused what is his name? David? To be like, "I could do this, and I could do this differently," and that's so cool with the cover stuff is, like, you know exactly what they're doing, but they do it so differently and put their own spin on it that I really loved it.
yes, very much like marketing and branding, where you want to take familiar things and make them new.
Oh, good segue.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Let's
thank
segue into covering some brand stuff.
you.
From, co-
Fantastic.
from cover bands to cover brands. Lindsay, I know about your company, but others don't. So give us the sitch.
Sure. So I am the founder and CEO at Outlast Marketing. We're a full service digital marketing agency that specializes in professional services and B2B companies.
Nice. So what kind of professional services clients do you often have?
Yeah, so we have a lot of clients who do a lot of high trust, high consideration services where
Mhm.
the buying decision often really hinges on the confidence that people have in the people behind the brand and
Right.
not just the company itself. So our clients are fractional executives, management consulting companies, leadership development companies, those types of folks.
Okay. And those folks are probably highly competent in their role,
Very.
very much
You'd
practitioner.
hope so.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, really, really. Yeah. Fractional CMO, you should be pretty competent in your role.
Yeah.
And then they're also you said they come across very much as confident and competent. So there's a
Yes.
personality issue as well.
Well, issue is an interesting word there, but yeah, a personality issue, maybe
Mhm.
a strong personality that stands out among some of the other options is ideal.
Mhm. Right, right. But it's a strength when you're looking at selling in professional services as a small provider, as a fractional person. I get that. I'm kind of that myself.
Yes.
And yet you're saying it becomes an issue at some point as well. What's the rub?
Yeah, so I think that the rub is once you try and grow the company beyond yourself.
Hmm.
And one of the things that we hear so often from our clients is how are they supposed to stand out as a thought leader without overshadowing their own company's brand or making it
Mm,
feel like the business is just them?
right, right. That's an interesting inflection point in the growth of a company.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's not uncommon.
No.
In fact, it's common for myself. I'm Applied Brand Science. That's my company, but most people just know, oh, it's Ethan or it's the guy in orange.
Yes.
Um, and it's common for other guests I've had and friends I know. And I'm wondering, have you had the same experience at Top Fox?
That was actually one of the reasons why we rebranded several years ago. We used to be
Hmm.
Satula Marketing. And I
Hmm.
think the perception that I had was when people came to me as Satula Marketing, they expected to work with a Satula.
Right.
And we really wanted to grow beyond me doing all of the work for everyone, which
Hmm.
we're still sort of working on because I'm a little bit of a control enthusiast, is one of my
Oh,
clients branded
oh,
me.
a control enthusiast. Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Way to
So
put it.
still working on the scalability because I like to
Uh-huh.
see all the strategies that go out the door for Top Fox. But as Top Fox, you work with a whole account team and
Right.
I oversee the strategy for it.
Right.
And I think that some of our clients want to do the same type of thing where, and we celebrate that. So
Hmm.
often we talk about if you're choosing between a fractional HR company, for example,
Yep.
you may, let's be honest, user journey, right?
Sure.
So you reach out to your network and you're like, I need an HR person or fractional HR. And they're like, okay, here you get a couple of different companies back.
Right.
We always talk about like maybe you'd call three, you wouldn't. You'd
Right. Right.
search for them. Maybe
Mhm.
you look at the LinkedIn profile of the CEO, maybe you look at their website.
Right.
You call the one that is
Yeah.
the most appealing one for you.
Yeah. It's the gap between the idealized or complete, exhaustive consumer journey and then the real one that most people
Well,
don't.
you talked a little bit about that on a past podcast, right? Is like how considered are considered purchases.
Yeah, even with cars, which marketers love to talk about the badge value of cars and the emotional value, and of course the price itself. I read somewhere that the most people, the most dominant number, the mode, I guess it's called technically,
Mhm, mhm,
mode is people will test drive one vehicle, but something like 20 or 30% will test drive zero. So yeah,
crazy.
even for this huge purchase,
Yeah,
um, it's we do the least amount we need to comfortably.
definitely. And so when our clients are like, "Well, we wanna stand," it's like, really, they're gonna call the one who looks like the most put together
Yeah,
on their website, on their LinkedIn, then you
yeah,
basically just try not to mess it up.
right,
And as long as that person doesn't mess it up, it the next person in line doesn't get called.
correct.
So we do talk a lot about the fact that the founder and the website has to look great and the founder has to
Mhm,
have a unique voice,
mhm.
but the business needs to exist beyond just the founder's unique voice.
Yes.
And so how do you my question for you is how do you think through the founder's unique voice and the founder's reputation and personal brand, if you want to
Mhm.
call it that, and the company's brand and reputation in this space, and how much of an overlap is there, and how do you approach that?
Yeah. Well, first, it's a fabulous question. It's a timeless question, and what I've seen, I can't say there's a ton of direct science to this, but I have a fair bit of experience in this, and what I've seen is It's very much a question of, you could even call it crassly, rebranding. Because a brand, as you've heard in other episodes, is your reputation, but it's also the handle that people use to think of the whole thing. So for
Mm.
instance, at this point, X is, well, it's rebranded from Twitter. So that's a clear rebranding, but people can't take apart X and Elon
It,
Musk
it
because
wasn't that clear.
he's very much inserted himself. Whereas if you think of Bain Consulting, you
Mm,
don't think of, I don't even know his first name, James Bain?
Mr. Bain.
Mr. Bain. Mr. Bain, I presume. You don't even think of him anymore. And
No.
there are
Or
companies where,
Ogilvy.
or Ogilvy, right? David Ogilvy. I'm almost positive that was his name.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. He was a titan in the industry
Yeah.
and a huge character. And you're right. Everything at Ogilvy reeked of David himself. But he started to assert the brand and actively step back. And it took that active, concerted effort to change people's perceptions because you're crafting a reputation, you're
Mm,
crafting a perception. Another great example is Nancy Duarte, more recently. Love
mhm,
Nancy. Slidology, I think was
mhm.
her thing. Yes, yes, she wrote
I think so.
Slidology. I'm going to look it up right now so I don't get it wrong. Nancy Duarte books. Do do do. Slidology was her first big hit. The art and science of creating great presentations. Nancy Duarte. And then she wrote a couple others, and now she has the Duarte Company. And the Duarte Company is that stepping back. It's becoming
Mm,
Bain and Company. It's becoming Ford. And it still bears her name, but she is
mhm.
doing a lot of very concerted things to pull herself back out of the brand and put and create a brand around the name itself, absent of her.
Interesting. I never actually thought about the timeline perspective of it.
Yes.
So take, I guess, take Top Box maybe because I'm here.
Yep.
So brand, Satula Marketing, we rebranded to Top Fox, but I'm still super integral to the company. I talk to
Sure.
all of our clients at least once a month. I oversee all the strategy that goes out the door. I It's okay right now then, is what I'm hearing, that Lindsay and Top Fox are very much an overlap, but
Yeah.
maybe it's when it comes to the our clients' CEO wanting to pull back or step out or do something else, that's the time to be really intentional about how you pull the company and the person apart.
Yes. Well, for sure, if there is a professional who is the brand and then they want to sell that company, absolutely, they need to disentangle themselves from the brand itself. So that has to be uh, thought of in that timeline if that's an end goal.
Yeah,
Or
but
as you're saying, if it's selling in your other people and getting it to a point where your clients don't expect you to be in the room,
yeah,
that's another time before sale or before, you know, yeah, a liquidation event or whatever it's called.
yeah, one of those things.
Yeah. But
Um,
yes, there's a timing issue for sure. And then there's a concerted effort issue. And then related to it, I would even say there's a third point, which is the person themselves, whether it's you at Top Fox or me at
mm,
Applied Science or one of your clients of, are they, this is a classic phrase, are you working on the business or are you working in the business?
mhm.
Working on the business means you're doing HR, finance, staffing, you're buying and selling real estate because suddenly everyone's working remotely and now
Right.
you don't need your office space anymore. What do you do with the plants? What do you do with the plants? And
Yeah,
then working in the business is you're still a craftsperson doing the work.
yeah,
And you see that a lot. The E Myth is a book,
yeah, yeah,
The Entrepreneur Myth. It says this
yeah.
point, and that's the biggest point it says. And
Right,
it's a huge
and
point.
then they have a lot of pages behind the point, yeah.
Yes, which
It's
people
a pretty
need.
good book. Yeah.
It's a great book. But people need that if they want to extract themselves from the daily work and truly build a company that goes beyond them and lasts beyond them.
And
So
I think
it's hard
interesting.
work. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think too, one of those things is that the founder's voice can be such a strong growth engine, but it
Hmm.
can also be a ceiling.
Yeah.
And that's what I think you're talking about with working in versus on. And
Yes.
how do you is there a way from a marketing perspective or what needs to happen on the marketing side to make that shift from
Yeah.
in to on?
You know what it's like? Well, here's another example, which I think might help. Steve Jobs, in many ways, was Apple
Yeah.
for the business community. For a lot of everyday people who bought Apple devices, iPhones, they barely knew Steve Jobs, barely cared about Steve Jobs, might not even known that that was him. And then when he
Yeah.
died and Tim Cook took over, there were all these questions. Now, Steve had created an incredible succession plan with leadership. And at that point, the brand didn't really need a succession plan because it was already Apple and
Mhm.
consumers knew it already as Apple. So imagine if you want to have a company that is bigger than just you and your name and your own work, and then eventually you want to pass it on to others or sell it, you need a succession plan, not just for the leadership, but for the brand itself. A brand succession plan. We're going to go from Ethan Decker is a consultant to Applied Brand Science is a company, and Ethan Decker is the overwhelming personality in that consultancy, to Applied
Overwhelming.
Brand Science is a company, and Ethan Decker is at the reins, to Applied Brand Science is a company, and I forget who launched it.
And what was his first name again? It was
Yeah,
Decker, right?
yeah, I think it was Decker.
Yeah.
He loves orange, though. He always wore orange.
Mr. Decker. Yes.
Mr. Decker, Dr. Decker, for those who.
Dr. Decker, excuse me.
Yes. No,
Yeah.
it's okay. I didn't spend 5 years in evil school to be called Mr. Evil. Thank you very much.
You should have though. That would have been great. I hear
Yeah.
you do that great accent.
Oh, I demand a little respect. You know what's funny though is the Dr. Evil accent, which is quite an interesting concoction, is actually a parody of Lorne Michaels, the inventor of Saturday Night Live.
Yes, and I've heard you do the Lauren Michaels impression, which is why I knew you could do Dr. Evil.
The Lorne Michaels, well, just to me, they're the same. I don't know the difference.
Yes,
I just know that one talks more
just
about
do the
people
thing.
dying, and the other one talks more about comedy. The show doesn't go on because it's ready. The show goes on because it's 11:30 on Saturday night.
So
So,
good.
so I guess what you could think about for Top Fox, which is you,
Yeah.
what I'll be thinking about for Applied Brand Science, which is me, and what you can counsel your own clients on, which are these fractional CMOs and these very competent leaders, is that they will need a brand succession plan in the same way that they will need a business succession plan. And most people ignore succession planning. They think it's only for huge companies and HR, but you've got to be thinking about it even when it comes to an individual presentation or project. Like who's going to take it over? Maybe you land it, but someone else has to take over the daily work if you're a
Mhm.
big enough firm. And so the brand succession plan could take a while. It takes a while for Ford to become just the Ford Motor Company and for people to forget who Henry was, or for Apple to just be
Right.
Apple, regardless of who founded it. One of the
Yeah.
Steves. Yeah,
One of those Steves.
one of those Steves.
Yeah.
Wozniak never gets the credit he deserves, I think.
Too
Yeah.
bad. Too bad for
Um,
that, Steve.
yeah. So does that make sense? Does that seem like it would be helpful to talk
Yeah,
to your clients about, is a brand succession plan?
definitely. Yeah, that's awesomely helpful. Thank you.
Yeah. And again, it doesn't need to be a new name. You could have probably stuck with Satula Marketing
Yeah, we could have.
because
But then
Ogilvy.
people kept asking us why the little fox, because I still had my fox. So it
Mm,
just made sense.
yeah. Oh, you found a
Like your
nice,
frog.
yeah, the Frelk. People
Yeah,
love the Frelk.
of course they
Yes.
do. It's awesome.
Yeah, well, the fox is beautiful. I love the fox.
Thank you. It's a little origami guy. I don't know that you can see that anymore, but
I can tell. Do you actually
yeah.
hand out origami stuff when you meet with clients?
No, but I should.
Next level.
Next
Orange
level.
origami paper with a
I
little guy,
literally just thought it. Yep.
and their
Love
first
it.
origami creature is a fox, and then it sits on their shelf, and they do it with their kids, and then they're thinking about your company.
Thanks for the extra. I
Oh
get a
yeah,
bonus.
we we aim to please on Cover Brand.
You do a great job.
I am so glad you came on the show. It's really fun to chat with you about this.
Thank you.
I
Thanks
hope it
for
was
having me.
helpful.
Super helpful.
Good. I look forward to hearing more about some of those brand succession plans. Maybe you should come back on the show later after you've got a story or two, and we could talk about how it works and what does it mean to create a succession plan, not just for your company and not just for your role, but also a succession plan for your brand.
I love it. I'll do that.
Great.
Can't
All
wait.
right. Have a great day.
Thanks. You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe to the podcast. And if you want to learn more about brand science, head on over to appliedbrandscience.com. Also, if you got something out of this episode, think of one person who might also get something out of it and send it to them as a way of saying, hey, thinking of you.